And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You can be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate every single one of you coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. And now what we'll be doing is going over to this other window right here. And shout out to Mary Toodles. And, alright, so with the trial today, the ones that I keep up with, the Donna Adelson trial, she was found guilty. It was a pretty long day it was fun chatting with the others in chat, but we thought it was going to go like around this time into the night, and it got into the evening, but of course over there in Florida where they are, it went into the night over there because it's East Coast, so it was already dark. There's people in the chat that were wondering if it was going to be late. Oh, hello Anna, good evening. People were wondering in the chat if they were going to end at a certain time, but G was asking me about to confirm that it doesn't really matter, or she wasn't too sure because other people were kept on saying it was going to end at a certain time when the court wants them to end it. But I was ensuring her that the judge, she's right, the judge is the one that decides when they end it for the day, when a jury is deliberating. Because I have seen a couple of times where they'll go later and later and later into the night. And there's one time the jury wanted to go home for the evening, and the judge said, can we go a couple more minutes? Or go a little bit longer until we get the verdict? And he just wasn't playing. He needed the verdict right there. And other trials, like in the Karen Reed trial, that judge let them go at a certain time. So people that may not remember or be aware of like some people in the chat will always say the court ends at a certain time. From my memory, it's up to the judge to decide. Now, there could be exceptions to the rule. And when there are exceptions to the rule, maybe there are courts that have that. I don't know. But usually it's the judge that makes the decision. So, yeah, we all thought it was going to be guilty. And that's what it surely was, but of course, going to prison the rest of your life is not really something anybody wants to do. Or to go there for 5 minutes isn't even good from what I hear. And Anna said, I said this, the judge tends to let jury go as long as they want, but no one acknowledged me. Yeah. And yes, that is true. You are correct, Anna. Now, sometimes the judge has the jury do it as long as they want to. Like, one judge was wanting them to go longer. So, yeah, the judge is the final say. But, yeah, a lot of times they'll let the jury go as long as they want. There's one case that the judge said they could go as late as they want into the night, and they'll have the supplies and stuff for them that they want to stay as long as they want. So that is something they did. And I think it's interesting to see how different judges handle the situation. And yes, Anna, I don't know, some people don't really pay attention or listen, but it's okay. They're not bad or anything. But yeah, it's just we've all been around them longer than maybe some of the other ones. Oh. Hilarious, Anna. Being sarcastic to some of the idiots that kept asking, I said 8:51 p.m. being a smart aleck. Yeah, because, yeah, hello, Doe. It's great to see you. We are doing fine. I personally am. I had an Anna and I had an active day today at the trial chat, watching the verdict. It was an exhilarating chat. It was like a family reunion in the chat room because everybody was pretty much there, and we were talking for a long time about things. And I talked to Toby about the streaming laptop stuff because Toby's interested in streaming, and that's always good for people to do. I've helped quite a few people with their channels, and I'm glad I did that. So I talked about that. G and I had also a very good day talking about the trial, different things like that, with having to do with the trial stuff. And we had our poetic discussions with each other and talking about different things of nature, of metaphors of nature and stuff. We both learned a lot from each other. Shout out to her. And the other ones, yeah, we're just like talking about the trial. And remember, Shaza, she was saying about her Halloween decorations, and then she's going to do some Halloween things. And in my opinion, from what I read, she's going to have like a party. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I love Halloween. And she was talking about stuff from the Danny Phantom show. That's something I watched during the time of Hurricane Katrina, right before the hurricane hit, a few years before it hit. That's something I was watching on Nickelodeon. If we're talking about the same thing, because there could have been something from the 80s or 70s called that I'm not aware of. But I know about the Nickelodeon show, which I would think fits with Halloween. And I'm like, yeah, I like that show. But so yeah, attire. Yes, I'm gonna keep going because I'm like the undeleted. I just keep going, But yes, very tired and a long day. And Doe, I hope you're doing well. And anything about your day you want to share with us, you can. You don't have to. But you're glad to be home. And one thing I'll say is very cool is how we're online with each other. Oh, Sharon. Oh, it's been a while. I'm glad to see you. It was nice seeing you earlier at the other stream. And I got to see some of y'all that I haven't seen in about a minute over there. So I saw Kathy and the others. It was good to see them. And Dwayne, of course. I was always good to see Dwayne. And yeah, Sharon, that was very intense. It was a very intense verdict. It's really unfortunate when life is lost and when someone has to be locked up for the rest of their lives. It's not really a good thing, but it has to be done because she was going to go have this murder staged, and she was trying to leave and go all the way to Nam to get away with it. So, Doe, this case, the Donald Adelson case, I'm going to summarize it for you, which you may already know what it is, but I'm going to summarize it for you and everybody else, for those that may not know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this woman was accused of conspiring to delete her son-in-law, and she was trying to go to Vietnam, and code name for that is Nam, and they were going to have a friend that was going to buy them a house over there because they were going to know somebody over there that could buy a house so they could purchase it and have it in there. Oh, hello, Rita. Good evening. You see, I saw you at both streams. I saw you here, and I saw you over at LC. Yes, that was Silver Fox from Britain. Shout out to her. She came by at LC chat. Now, the reason why they want to go to Vietnam, though, is because Vietnam does not have a asylum agreement with the United States. So if somebody went over to England to get away from a Timu crime, they would be extradited to the United States. Vietnam does not have that deal with the United States. So they're trying to go to Vietnam to avoid being prosecuted, but they're arrested at the airport. And now she'll be locked up. Donna is the puppet master, that is true. And G and I were talking in the chat about, with some other people, how she was trying to base it off their religion, and her stupid attorney in the beginning was talking about her religion, what the people think of Jews. It's extremely not good to associate themselves this evil crime with a religion because people are going to think that they're associated when there's Jewish people that do not do things like this. And I think that was a stupid thing to associate it with, and it just shows the selfishness and the self-determination of trying to survive of her own hide. Yeah, so there's nothing to... There's Jews that are good, some Jews are not good, with everybody, all beliefs and people. But this specific case, I mean, anybody would do something like this regardless of the religious areas. Like, for instance, you had those killings from that girl that was strangled for having a boyfriend and just supposed to go with somebody in another country. That one, the Ali trial. You have that, and then you have this lady, then you'll have somebody like Monica Cementelli, who is Catholic. People of all different walks of life do this. So I think it was really stupid where they're like, what do you think when you think of Jews? And people in the chat were saying all kinds of things. But, people were thinking about, bar mitzvahs or Hanukkah. Somebody was being a little bit of a comedian was saying the Holocaust. Somebody was saying like gold or communism stuff. If you were like saying like silly things in the chat, but yeah, I don't know like how that had to do with anything. But people that are Jewish or any religion don't necessarily do stuff like that. But Donna Adelson was trying to have her defense, or her defense team was leading this thing to say that it's her customs to try to do this a certain way. But she was innocent of these accusations. But you know what? She was the mastermind behind it. She couldn't control her anger, and she made everything, her family, her culture, look very bad. And there's people that are Jewish that don't practice religion, and it's like a cultural thing. Like similar, there's Catholics that will not be Catholic, but there's a cultural thing. That was something else that was pointed out too. So yeah, I think that. Oh, Hellcat! Oh, it's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming here. Yeah, that was a wild trial today, and this, especially for the kids, it's very traumatic for the kids, and I think that. Miranda, you just got back from the ER. Oh dear. So, Miranda, I'm glad you're with us. If you want to share any details, you can. You don't have to. I hope that you're praying for your recovery and everything is going well with you. All right. Glad to have you here. So yeah, Donna was the mastermind behind it, and she was watching a domino effect of all these people getting arrested, and she's next. Now, there's conspiracies about Wendy being prosecuted, and I asked AI what AI thinks, and we do not know. AI said it's unknown. Right now, the prosecution could now choose to prosecute Wendy if the prosecution so chose. It would depend if there's enough factors to convict her. And yeah, now I will summarize this trial for those that may not know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Go here. All right. Let's go over here. And also with G, she's not been able to come to the streams, but she's praying and thanking for everybody. Miranda says, yes, I was suffering forever, sick in an awful way, and today fell into ER. I knew I had an infection, so I finally was able to get antibiotics. Okay, and I'm glad you got the antibiotics and you got that checked out. I'm so relieved that you're here, that you are here and recovering. Sharon said Donna was so evil. Wendy was the whole reason for it all. Georgia, when asked about Wendy, said, "Stay tuned." Same thing she said after Charles' conviction. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll certainly be watching that one. That today was like a very good trial day. Like, yeah, that was just perfect. And her emotion, Judge was like, "Donna Adelson, do not have any emotion, or else you're gonna be excused from the room. Okay, whatever the verdict is." And then she started tripping out. He goes, and there was no tears coming from her eyes, and she was making a big scene. And the judge said, "Hey, you're gonna be thrown out the room if you keep doing that." Ah, hey Eagle, good to see you, buddy. That was a wild day today. Oh, oh, it looks like synchronicity happened between Anna and Sharon. Jinx happened. George's press conference wouldn't say yes. Stay tuned. So to me, it's a yes on Wendy. Ah, okay. Yes, true crime, very dramatic. Very, yeah. Great minds think alike. Yeah. Well, Miranda, it is so great to have that you have relief. I was so very concerned for you. Donna Adelson is a Florida woman currently found guilty for masterminding the 2014 murder for hire of her former son-in-law. Florida State University law professor Dan Markle, Adelson, 75, is and was charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. Ah, okay. Thanks, Rita. Yes, Eagle, spectacular. It was. Gotcha. It was like a gotcha moment. That's what it was like. In case she wants to hurt herself. Donna was arrested 1 week after Charlie, so I'm hoping the same for Wendy. Yeah, hopefully Wendy doesn't all of a sudden have a revelation she wants to go to Vietnam for a vacation. Scared. Scared. The key details of the case include motive. Prosecutors allege Adelson orchestrated the plot out of desperate desire to have her daughter, Wendy Adelson, and her grandchildren move from Tallahassee to southern Florida. A judge had denied Wendy's request to relocate with the children, sparked a contentious custody dispute. Yes, I agree, Sharon. The murder. Marco was shot in his garage by two hired hitmen. Four other individuals, including Adelson's son Charlie Adelson, have already been convicted in connection with the killings. Or we also say deletings. The evidence. Prosecutors have presented wiretapped phone calls, suspicious financial transactions, and coded language used by Adelson after an undercover FBI operation. Adelson was recorded speaking with her son Charlie using coded language referring to a TV and a potential payoff of 5,000. Loud cheers for Georgia when she came out to talk. Next, I want to hear from some jurors. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sharon says Donna knows the rubber room from her first arrest, threatening Suey. Scared. She also had made highly suspicious handwritten payroll checks to her son's girlfriend, Catherine Magbanua, after the murder, even though Magbanua was not a legitimate employee. The arrest. Adelson was arrested in November 23 at Miami International Airport with her husband while attempting to board a one-way flight to Vietnam, a country without an extradition treaty with the United States. This came just 1 week after the son Charlie was found guilty. Family testimony. During the trial, Adelson, estranged son Robert Adelson, testified that her mother was controlling and hated Markle after the divorce. Wendy Adelson also testified under immunity. Yeah, probe that like button. Thank you, though. Yeah. The defense, Adelson's defense attorney, have argued that she did not order the murder and the divorce between Wendy and Dan was not bitter enough to provide a motive. Adelson herself did not testify in her defense. As September 4, 2025, Adelson's case gone to jury closing arguments, and the verdict is guilty. Hello, Frog. Good evening. That was that was quite an interesting trial today. And good to see you too, buddy. We had a good day and a long day and a tiring day of the trial chat. We did very well with it. We're doing fine. We're just hanging out in the stream, enjoying it, each other. Going over here to check something. All right. Yes, it was. It was a huge win. And hello, Aaron. It's great to see you. Yeah, Donald Adelson was a huge win. And Wendy next. Yes, Aaron. Exactly. Facts. Let's see. Okay. See about playing the closing argument. I mean, the press conference. All right. See about this. Let's see how this goes. No, that's not what I want to put there. Yes, you know what? Yes, I get her reaction. Yes. We'll do that one right now. And then we'll look at the press conference thing. Okay. Right here. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Going to the end. To the end.
Count 3.
All right, that's a spot.
Please remain seated when the jurors come in this particular time. If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 2 of the indictment.
Scared.
Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 3 of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room.
Judge is so stone cold. His emotion does not change at all. Son-in-law, Kay. She had her son-in-law killed. Yeah. Yeah, Eagle, yeah.
Mrs. Adelson, while this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury. If you cannot control yourself, I am going to have to determine if you will be removed from the remainder of this process. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you need a moment to collect yourself? Before the jurors are brought back in, we will take a brief 2-minute break. Please give her tissues if she needs them. When the jurors are brought back into the room, does the defense wish to have the jurors polled before they are discharged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well.
That's true. She gets no free deek. She gets free. She gets free smelly, flabby fish the rest of her life. Yeah, no free deek. Just free flabby fish. That's all.
Before the jurors are brought in and the verdict is published, I'd like to make sure everyone understands whatever the verdict will be in the case. I do not want there to be any gesturing or anyone making any movements that we either agree or disagree with the verdict. We are going to respect what the jury's decision is, and we are not going to suggest any displays of emotion, whether it be from the gallery or the parties. If anyone believes they are not capable of following this instruction, I'd ask you to step outside at this time.
That's true. A crooked, crooked flabby fish. That's $4.50. Yes. Scared.
Mrs. Adelson also as well, once the verdict is read, again, I'm going to advise you, do not have any displays of emotion as best you can. You want to control yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's what she's upset about. No free deek. She can't put her decrepit, flabby fish lips that look like that she certainly is guilty lips. She cannot put those lips on free deek. She could only suck and absorb all the juice from the flabby, crooked 50-cent fish the rest of her life. She's gonna be she'll be known as the fishy granny. Scared. She was already fishy, but she's gonna be even more fishy. She's just gonna be the fishy granny. Scared. Yes, right on, Eagle. Yes.
Please bring in the jurors.
It's like, yo, it's like Donna's gonna have some pure, uncensored, explicit, potent, flabby 50-cent fish to enjoy with the prison food. Enjoy. Scared. It's like, nah, she crying, she getting emotional. It's like, nah, enjoy it. Yeah, she be smelling like Davy Jones' locker on a bad day. She knew her fate. No free deek. The future for her is certainly bleak. She's up the fishy creek. The crooked fishy creek. Alright? No, hear me out. The crooked fishy creek. Scared. And you know what else she's got to worry about is a not snitch. No snitching on that fishing. No. Scared. Oh yeah, I ended her whole career. All right, she ended her own career, but I had to help her. I had to put some seasoning on top. You got to help the elderly, right? So therefore, I'm just a good old alien. Anna says a prisoner already grabbed her flabby fish into the shower. Oh, well, she's going to have a whole Thanksgiving dinner now. So she's lucky. Scared. That is true, Kay. I am. And today was exhilarating with my companions. And you got to hear me out, Hear me out here. That she was going to murder... She had her son-in-law murdered. Alright? And... she to try to see her grandkids, but she could have seen them in the future, and taking this to life. And this person wasn't being abusive that I know of or anything like that. This is not good, and we cannot have a society that normalizes activity like that. So it certainly should be, punishable in this situation. Justice for Dan, all right? Justice for Dan. Rest in peace. And I'm sure it's very look. It's traumatizing for the kids and the family. Like no one wins in this situation. So yes, I'm happy justice is served, and I'm a bit of a Timu Sheen comedian, and we have a chat that can humor me. All right. So shout out to y'all for humoring my crooked humor. All right. Oh, Moki, it's great to see you. Welcome to the chat. We're talking about how Donna's not gonna get any free deek. She just gets crooked fish, and we're having a field day over this. So it's good to see you, Moki. And it was a wild day in the chat for sure. A wild trial. And I remember the judge was saying to not have emotion, but a lot of people would have emotions in this situation. And Anna said yes when she was trying to get Bond again, actually on stand speaking to a judge about another girl twisting her arm too. Oh, scared.
Please remain seated when the jurors come in this particular time. If the jury foreperson could please rise. Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict? No. If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff.
Sharon says she wanted her daughter and grandkids in Miami. They were in Tallahassee, where her father worked. He did accept $1 million bribe to move down there, so her son hired some of the dumbest criminals to delete him. Oh, hello, G. Good evening. I'm glad to have you here with us. It's great to see you. It's so great to have the wonderful Pearl with us. Ramoki says, I thought it looked like she said I should have deleted myself. Okay. I wasn't paying attention to what she was saying with her lips. But, I certainly am going to look more closely at that.
Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as the count one of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count two.
Right there, she's saying, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, okay.
We, the jury, find as follows as the count two of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count three. We, the jury, find as follows as the count three of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room. Ms. Adelson, while this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury. If you cannot control yourself, I am going to have to determine if you will be removed from the remainder of this process. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you need a moment to collect yourself? Before the jurors are brought back in, we will take a brief 2-minute break. Please give her tissues if she needs them. When the jurors are brought back into the room, does the defense wish to have the jurors polled before they are discharged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well.
Gee, I think he thinks that she was guilty. And he also has a very stoic demeanor to him. Oh, he's also very stoic. So yeah, but he certainly, I think, thought she was guilty. That was it, Moki? Okay. Yeah, I think that she kept saying, "Oh my God," and she may have said, in my opinion, I want to keep looking at it, but she may have said she can't believe this. She's in disbelief. Understood, Mookie. Yeah, it could be anything, but yeah, she's like in disbelief. Yeah, I've read Takei before about this trial a couple of times, but it's all right. I don't mind doing it again, and I will give him another summary about it. Like it's like say you're in your garage and two guys come and assassinate you. Yeah, that's not really nice. You know, or someone did anybody shouldn't done. It should be done to anybody. Like, look, you could sue people and stuff like that, but they have to have legal avenues for this to be done. Now, I do think that it's good for you to research it and you can make your own opinion about it. But yeah, this person did something very wrong. Yeah, definitely in a turtle suit. Yeah, and G and I are saying an opinion. In our opinion, we think the judge seems like, since he's been through this before, he probably thought to himself it was guilty. Now, he did not exercise a bias. He did not exercise a bias. We're just assuming and speculating on his internal thoughts, what they may be. He was very patient. He was very unbiased during the trial. Yeah, no. So we don't want to cause misunderstanding here. We're just speculating on what possibly the judge may have thought in his head to himself. But the judge showed very unbiased, fair to every side. G says, "You are very right, hun. But at the end of the day, your job is just a job. Every human has been given organs. He's human like any of us. Surely he goes home and he thinks." Right, we're not AI robots. You know, everybody has an opinion. Everybody may have a prejudice or a bias to themselves. Everyone may. Everyone does to an extent. And we're just speculating eternal thoughts. It's kind of like reading comprehension. And we are just a theorist, to see what we think about this or that. Oh, okay, Moki. My favorite ice cream is mint and chips. By the way. Right. And G says, yes, alien, that's exactly what we mean. Yes, no judge is biased. He should have no bias. He was beyond fair to her, actually very respectful at all times. Yes, absolutely. Even cops cry and have emotions. I've seen it. Yeah. Thank you, G. Very well said.
Please remain seated when the jurors come in this particular time.
Okay, so this is what the defense does in the beginning. The defense was asking people what they thought of Judaism, and as that it's somehow linked to her, but it has nothing to do with her. And Jews, in my opinion, would not want to claim her. All right? And there's cultural Judaism where people may not be religious, but they have a Jewish culture to them, or people can be Catholic and not practice the Catholic faith. So, yeah, but shit, anybody of any religion or non-religion or have messed up people do stuff like this. So I think that the associating her with the Jewish faith was not really a good idea. It just was stupid, in my opinion. It had nothing to do with anything. Like, it's trying to save her own skins. G said, right, 100%. This is a chat. We're just commenting and opinioning. It's very purposeful of a chat. Very purpose of a chat. Yeah, and I believe that over here, people can have their own opinions, and as long as people are respectful to each other and things like that, of course, and respecting each other's boundaries, the people just chat and talk about what their opinions on different things and make commentary on stuff. That's what it's for. People talk about what they want. It's fine. You know, and we're just here to speculate and have an opinion, and everybody can just be themselves. Moki said the lady behind Harvey has terrible hair. Aaron would have a word to say about that too. No one has a right to delete someone, kill someone. No one has a right to do that. Exactly. Unless if it's for self-defense, but not this type of situation. Yes, the one in the blue. Yes.
If the jury foreperson could please rise. Has the jury...
Oh, and also, okay, to be more specific about what Sharon meant, she didn't mean all situations. She meant in instances like this, to delete somebody for no reason. Like, that is a situation where it is not good to delete somebody. And, like, say, if somebody's attacking you for no good reason, that is where you have, out of self-defense, you defend yourself. But when you have somebody that's mad at their son-in-law or relative, they did not commit a crime, no one's life is threatened, and because someone's angry at somebody, so out of anger, someone's like angry at somebody, to delete them for no reason, that's what we're referring to. It just depends on the circumstances, Kay, and you are absolutely right. We have a right to defend ourselves. You are certainly correct. But I will also add to that, it depends on the circumstances, and Sharon meant it in a different context. Yes. Okay, thank you, Moki, for your commentary on that. Yeah, Kay, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We're going to walk you through this, and you're in good hands. We're there all day long. All right, here we go.
We reached a unanimous verdict. If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
Another thing, Kay, is a lot of people do not... Now, yeah, Moki said she would have passed out. And look, being in this situation is terrible. And there's commentary that somebody being found guilty of something like this would have emotion naturally. But remember, people would usually not delete somebody like this. Like, say, Kay, you had a relative or a friend that was murdered by somebody in cold blood that wasn't doing anything. You would want that person, we all would want that person to be put to justice, I would think. Everyone's different, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that I know what everyone thinks, but that is usually the kind of logic here. Yes, you're seeing like an older lady that's crying and being upset. Yeah, that is an empathetic thing. You want to feel empathy for that. Now, from our perspective, we're like people that are in like war, and we're seeing an enemy that deleted somebody, was doing an evil action that is being put to justice. So we're viewing it from different lenses. So I'm glad that you are open about seeing this and understandably not understanding what this trial is about. Because yes, and it give context to everybody watching, tuning in. As a disclaimer, this woman was found guilty of orchestrating a murder on her son-in-law unjustly for no good reason, and having two assassins and a mediator carry it out, and murdering the father of her grandkids and ruining her life and everybody else. She tried to go to Vietnam to get asylum so she would not be prosecuted. So she does not care about her grandkids. And she was so concerned about seeing her grandkids, she would not try to go to Vietnam. But she seems very selfish to try to avoid a prosecution. Now, they weren't being abused that I know of. Chad can correct me. They weren't being hurt. In the future, she could have seen her grandkids, or they could have been an appeal, and she could have even sued him. She could have sued him. I mean, there's all kinds of legal avenues people could go, but murdering somebody, especially a father of your grandkids, is not a good idea. Imagine the trauma. Imagine the trauma the kids are going to feel growing up. Yes, Kay, over in Nam, there's not an asylum policy with the United States. So if somebody commits a crime, they could go over to the United States, to Vietnam, and not be sent back to the United States. There's no extradition to the United States. They don't have a treaty with the United States to do that. So they're trying to go to Vietnam to get over there and to avoid being prosecuted. Now, if the main goal is to see her grandkids, although your life's pretty much over if you're going to go to prison, the bottom line is a theory that she really cared about her own self. So, to put it in layman's terms, what Rita said, Vietnam has no extradition with the United States. So if you want to seek asylum in Vietnam for a crime, you could do that and not be sent back to the United States. So that's as a sign of guilt from a legal point of view. And we've talked about the legal perspective on things. And from a legal point of view, it looks like she's trying to avoid something and not just have a vacation. And if she's lying about going to Vietnam for a vacation all of a sudden, why not go to Paris, like what G talked about earlier? So that is another thing. She lied about her intentions of going to Vietnam. If she lied about that, should we have other things? That's not right. And there's allegedly she was a control freak, and she was not that nice of a person. Like, if you met this person, she may not be a nice person to be around. Maybe she would be, maybe she wouldn't be. So that's why, in this situation, she is seen in a negative light by us. But Alien, defense dresses her that way for effect as well. She ran her mouth in those texts unlike any person I've seen. The vile comments, my kids don't ever curse, and they are kids. Yeah, the vile language that is used would take away the innocence and charm of this specific lady in the situation. Harvey was defeated. It is said. Okay. Thanks, Eagle. I wonder if Wendy called Harvey. Look, he may be an after Wendy. All right. Oh, hello, Autumn. Good evening. Hey, everyone. Donna is a textbook definition of a narcissist. The Markle's statements was so impactful. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. We're going to be continuing. I also want to show you. We are going to see the impact statements as well. She said, by that I mean she's 75 and calling him names that no human should be called. She's not a 20-year-old. She's a mother who should guide her kids, not murder. Exactly, G. Exactly. And that is exactly what we are saying. So, seeing all the chat, I was looking at that for a second. By that, she means 75. Calling him names that no human should be called. At any age, you shouldn't be calling somebody these names, right? But she's calling him these names. And she's supposed to be a good example, a role model for her kids and grandkids. But she's not doing that. And she's talking about him like that behind everybody's back in these text messages that are explicit that she didn't think should be called. And she's not 20. Like in her 20s, like if she's 20s or something, she could act like this, but for her to be acting in this way, in a vulgar sense and an inappropriate sense, if she had any problems with Markle, she should have confronted him. She should have told him in a logical manner. And she's a mother, and she should be guiding her children and not trying to murder. And her son was arrested for murder. Her son was arrested for murder. So that is not a good thing, and this is not a good role model. We wouldn't want this happening more. Communication is key. You want people to have communication on these factors and not to be murdering each other. Like, you don't want to normalize people having like it'll be like The Purge, like the movie The Purge. People just murdering people for no reason. Or people have a reason, okay, but it's a reason that could be settled out in a more logical manner. She thought she could replace Dan when she said Ben was not, because she spent 25 hours a week with Ben was insane. You're right on. And I mean, juxtapose, oh my goodness, gee. I was just learning about that word. Juxtapose. Synchronicity right there. Wow, I just learned about that word. I have it actually open in another window about that definition. Scared. Juxtapose. Dan's parents raised a kid who went to Harvard, served community, and was an amazing father and son versus Donna's kids, and she deleted them. They all don't talk to her. Exactly. Dan's parents. So Dan went to Harvard. He served his community. He was an amazing father and son. And Donna's kid, she, misled them for him to do the murder. And they all don't talk to her. So she's not well liked. But Dan was very different. Yes, my Niagara Falls, G, we certainly do. Great minds think alike. She raised two killers, and who wants to be part of her? Sometimes it's how you raise them. Sometimes it's not your fault. That's true. And when Markle wanted his lawyer to be forced supervised visitations on Donna, that threw her all the way over the edge. Yeah, exactly. All right, so here's more of the reaction.
Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 3 of the indictment: solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room. Mrs. Adelson, while this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury. If you cannot control yourself, I am going to have to determine if you will be removed from the remainder of this process. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you need a moment to collect yourself? Before the jurors are brought back in, we will take a brief 2-minute break. Please give her tissues if she needs them. When the jurors are brought back into the room, does the defense wish to have the jurors polled before they are discharged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well.
Autumn says, wonder how Wendy feels now she has no father for her kids and even knows who they are, and she has no other immediate family except Harvey unless she still talks to Rob.
Please bring back in the jurors so we can conclude with their portion of the trial. Members of the jury, before I discharge you for this evening, I am briefly going to poll you concerning whether your verdict is unanimous at the request of one of the parties. When you hear your last name, please appropriately respond. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges that are enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who attend my of the
Request an opportunity to ensure that our client is okay.
Family and her children.
About to do victim impact statement.
It's fine. Right there in front of the lectern. If you please can identify yourself for the record.
Yes, my name is Ruth Mark. Sorry?
I'm worried you're going to trip. Just,
Okay,
that's fine.
I already did. My name is Ruth Markel.
You may give your impact statement, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge Everett. To the Honorable Judge Everett, my name is Ruth Markel. I am the mother of the late Dan Markel. I stand before you today to express the profound sadness and grief that Dan's family and I have endured since his tragic murder. We have lost a treasure. My son Dan's life was cut tragically short at 41 years old. For 11 years, we have been forced to a life filled with unimaginable pain and heartbreak. Dan's father Phil and his sister Shelley share in this unending sorrow. Dan was a devoted father, brother, and son. Dan's life was marked by his devotion to family, education, and community. He was a loving, caring, and inspiring person. His academic journey included studying politics and philosophy at Harvard University, earning a master's degree later in political theory from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and the Emmanuel College in Cambridge, and later going back to Harvard to get a law degree. Dan was a prolific scholar and did start, co-founded the influential Prof's blog. His energy, drive, and sociability greatly enriched the FSU College of Law. Dan's life was filled with passion, music, dance, sports, travel, and people. But of all my son's accomplishments, however, I am most proud of the devoted father Danny was to his two sons, Benjamin and Lincoln. Dan was present, loving, and supportive, always putting his children's well-being first. He regularly attended the boys' daycares, reading with them. His office was filled with their drawings, and his home, his living room, filled with their toys. Dan was the boys' hero, and they have been forced to grow up without a father. Dan's murder has shattered our family and caused deep permanent pain. This was a particularly senseless crime, and the murder was particularly insensible. It was not revenge. Dan was a law-abiding and respectful citizen, an active father, and a living son. His life was devoted to teaching and helping others. The pain and suffering of Dan's murder goes well beyond other families too. That is why I wrote the book, The Unveiling, A Mother's Reflection on Murder, Grief, and Trial Life. In my unrelenting grief, I turned to advocacy, to feel purpose, and to help others with these tragic losses. I have found meaning and comfort to connect with others who want to serve justice. To all the community of journalists, TV programs, podcasters, Tallahassee communities, and the allies who have put their hearts in keeping Danny's story alive, we are full of thanks. To law enforcement and prosecutors, our gratitude is beyond for their dedicated careful perseverance in seeking justice for Danny and our family. If Tallahassee is known for football, Tallahassee should be known for the prosecution and for law enforcement. They have done an outstanding job. These extraordinary efforts underscore the brutal truth of our family story. Danny's murder was orchestrated by his former mother-in-law, Donna Adelson, and other co-conspirators, and is a crime of cruelty. It is a murder of grief, a murder of selfishly prioritizing one's own desires over what is just or right. And at its core, this was a murder of convenience, so that one grandmother could live closer to her grandchildren. She killed their father and ripped the children from the other grandparents' lives. Donna Adelson's crimes against Dan began long before his murder. She belittled Dan in front of his children. She spread lies about him and contributed to a brutal separation between Dan and Wendy. She rented the house, and Dan came home, and he found that Wendy and the boys were gone, with most of their belongings. He called this devastation Pearl Harbor. Donna's eagerness for Wendy to divorce Dan and to relocate to South Florida led her to increasingly devise desperate schemes. Despite these efforts, the court ruled that Wendy could not move the boys away from their loving father. Failing to achieve her goal through legal means, Donna finally resorted to orchestrating Dan's murder. She plotted, planned, and paid for his murder. Donna's crimes led to further devastation. Her middle son, Charlie, was convicted and sentenced to a life in prison for his role in facilitating Danny's murder for hire. Can you imagine a mother involving a son to complete a murder? Donna's eldest son, Rob, an honest and decent man, is estranged from the family, and her younger child, Wendy, has decided once again to relocate to another state. Her actions and those of her co-conspirators have caused children to lose their parents. Catherine McManus, Freda Garcia, and Charlie Adelson, also convicted, are all convicted for life and have lost access to their children. Prior to her arrest, Donna's recorded phone calls with Charlie reveal their lack of a moral compass or capacity for self-reflection. She blames external forces for her family's curse. They're outside of her, but she is the curse, and lashes out angrily at witnesses who took the brave step to testify. Her modus operandi has always been to run from Tallahassee and then to try to flee to Vietnam. For our family, there is no such prospect for escape. Danny's absence, and that leaves a hole at the center of our lives, no matter where we go. Yet Dan's murder was not enough for Donna. His death was not enough. Danny had to be fully erased from his beloved sons. The boy's last name was ever changed, an extraordinary decision to excise the Markell name from Phil's only grandsons who shared his last name. And after the first arrests were made, Donna didn't allow the Markell family to have access for over 6 years. It was only when there was a phenomenal Tallahassee advocacy group that passed the Markell Act. The passage of this bill was immediately followed by our first invitation to see the boys after the arrest. The door only cracked open. Despite these efforts, we remain excluded from the boys' lives. We were not at their bar mitzvahs or graduations. We have extremely highly choreographed visits and communications. We only wait for the day that Benjamin and Lincoln will visit their father and his grave, and his father's history, and his grave in Toronto. We want nothing more. The facts of Danny's murder are difficult to swallow. The experiences Phil, Shelley, and I have been forced to suffer are profound as homicide survivors and victims of the criminal system. The lives of Danny's two sons, our grandchildren, were forever turned upside down by this crime. Benjamin and Lincoln were only preschoolers when their father was murdered, and now they are forced to confront and try to understand the unthinkable crimes of murder and the Adelsons' involvement. Our lives will never return to normal. For those who love Danny and for those who Danny loved, there is no escape from the wicked effects of what Donna Adelson set in motion, carried out, and paid for, and for many years enjoyed the aftermath of. Donna Adelson has caused immense devastation and an untimely, undeserved murder through her actions. While no trial or verdict can ever heal the profound wounds caused by Dan's murder, justice must be served. I respectfully ask the court to impose the maximum sentence on Donna Adelson. Her lack of cooperation and remorse throughout the case demands justice, the justice that Dan's life and memory fully deserve. We are immensely grateful to the court for its careful and compassionate deliberation. Respectively, Ruth Markell.
Thank you, Ms. Markell. Are there any other victim impact statements this evening?
One more, Judge.
Please could tell us your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Phil Markell. I'm Danny's father. Judge Everett, I appreciate the opportunity to speak about the impact of Donna Adelson's actions on my families and the families of so many others. While this victim impact statement is addressed to you, Your Honor, it is also intended for the Adelson family, Harvey, Charlie, Wendy, and particularly Donna. I would like them to understand and reflect on the deep and irreparable damage
Welcome back, Aaron. Great to have you here.
they have caused. The pain that they have caused my family is obvious and permanent, but they have also caused lifelong harm to their own immediate family and so many other families and children around. Donna's selfishness, cruelty, and complete disrespect for human life, along with that of her co-conspirators, have left families forever broken. Louis Rivera, his children have no father. Catherine Magbanoa and Sigfredo Garcia, their children have no parents. Charlie Adelson, his son, Roman, has no father. Rob Adelson and his wife and their two children have lost their uncle and grandparents. Shelley and Ian, my daughter, their three children, my grandchildren, are left without an uncle and are separated from their cousins. Of course, their heinous and callous actions have left me, Ruth, and Shelley without our Danny, and Ben and Lincoln without their father. For anyone to commit such a cold-blooded, unprovoked act of murder is horrific. For Donna, someone who claims to care so much about Ben and Lincoln, her sunshines, her actions are beyond comprehension. She has harmed forever the people she claims to have loved. In the Jewish custom, we have an expression to always wish others to live to 120 years of age. For Donna, I wish her to live to 120, alone in her jail cell. I wish that every day of her remaining days she thinks about the harm she has caused to so many, especially those 2 boys she claims to have loved so much. For these reasons, Your Honor, I ask the court sentence Donna Adelson to the maximum possible sentence. And my only short question to Donna, was it worth it? Respectfully, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Markell. Are there any other matters that the court needs to address this evening, Ms. Koppelman? With the PSI being ordered, the court will pronounce count. If the jury foreperson could please rise. Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
No.
If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment. We find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room. Degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. As to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. and it is signed and dated by the foreperson. 1 moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room.
Right, she didn't cry this hard when Dan passed away. Right. And look, watch this, chat. Watch this. Watch this.
1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant...
No free deek.
Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty. 2. We, the jury, find as follows.
Correct, Kay. Correct. Correct. Such a joy in this verdict, I trust you. I suspect it was a just verdict. Otherwise, you would not have found joy in this verdict. Correct. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm a normal, sane person, and there's nothing insane about me. I like to, yeah, in all seriousness, okay, yeah, this verdict, because of the circumstances, I take joy in it, but not, otherwise I wouldn't. Right.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder.
Okay, think of her like an older version of... Think of her of an older version of Amber Heard. That's what she is. Okay, I'll tell you about the Deke story. So, with the... There's a time I was watching the Diddy trial, and outside, there was somebody screaming at the top of their lungs, "Free Deke! Free Deke!" And when that was happening, I thought, why is somebody talking about, viewer discretion advised, all right? Why would somebody be talking about getting free dick outside of a courthouse? Really? That's what the person kept chanting and chanting. Free Deke. Free Deke. And that was, why was someone saying that? And then for 3 hours, dude, for like 6 hours. And then somebody told me, no, Jesse was saying what, he's the anchor of LC, and he was talking about that they were chanting free Diddy. I'm like, oh, I thought they were saying free Deke. So the word Sharon said was Deke for the other word, which is a male member. So Johnny Depp says crook Deke, as you've seen in the videos I've showed you, and she gets no free Deke. No free Deke. All she's going to get is a flabby, floppy, 50-cent crooked fish. Which is like she's going to just get women instead. Alright? And as and I'll reiterate, the person in the video was, you got to remember, there's emotional manipulation that people can use. Like what lawyers use, like what G's talking about. You see an innocent old lady, and you see this alien dude in his chat laughing. It looks kind of odd, but I'll say it's like she's a witch, all right, a wicked witch from Wizard of Oz, all right. And we've reiterate to you, this woman had her son-in-law unjustly murdered because she was angry at him with 2 assassins. I'll say it again. She had her son-in-law murdered with assassins for no good reason and traumatized the life of a family. He was a good father. He was not abusive. He went to Harvard. He was a good person. And the kids are traumatized for life. Taking a kid's father away is very traumatic. So it's not like I'm laughing at a random person on the street that lost her husband. It's not, or lost her child. I mean, this is how heartless she is. She did not cry like this when the father of her grandkids were murdered. So it's very righteous and just in this situation. I do not take sadistic pleasure for no reason. That's what this lady is. It's just... And she does not really have tears. And another thing is, the chat likes to laugh, and I'm very comedic, and so it's also to people get a laugh out of a dark situation. It's comedy. Like comedy these days, a lot of times people take it too seriously, and but yeah, it's a comedy thing also. You know, the chat likes to laugh, and so that is my reasoning for this situation, and I do not care what others think, but I want you to understand with the reasoning why I'm doing this, because I'm transparent with communication, and I will be firm about what I'm doing, and I explain why I do things. All right, so take it from the top. All right. Okay, Kay. Understood, Kay. And I'm glad that you are a man of compassion, and that and your concern I value very much, my friend. And I do not mind. I am glad to explain this, because if I'm just coming across a stream and I see a dude laughing at some older lady crying, going to jail rest for life, it would look a little bit odd. It would be a little bit odd. And the way that the lawyers dressed her up and all, yeah, it can look bad. That's why one time with Amber Heard, we had, G was saying we're not saying it's good for someone to be abused. We're just saying with Amber Heard, in this situation, under certain circumstances, we have to be clear about why we think it's just to be angry at her in that context. If if a woman is being really abused, like Abby that comes here, if a older lady is attacked or something and I'm laughing at her, yeah, that's extremely evil on my part. It just depends on the situation. But yes, I do not mind questions being asked. It's very important, because off the bat it could look wrong. All right, so very good questions. G said we're all sad because she's human, and it's hard to see this because we have hearts. But at the end of the day, when you review what she did, it was evil beyond measure. Amen, G. And yes, I feel bad that somebody has to go to jail the rest of their life, and we want older people to be protected and treated well. But under these circumstances, it was very evil what she did. And I'm also doing it for humorous purposes for the chat. It's comedy also. That's all at the same time. It's because after this dark situation, people like to laugh. Laughter is the greatest medicine. And that's what I'm doing for them and myself. As Aaron said, I look exhausted and I don't really sleep. So, as I said, it's also good for me to see the chat being entertained. But yes, absolutely what G said, that it's a sad situation, but we do want this to happen less. For instance, say like the people like the Soviets that persecuted people, or a regime that persecuted people, like in Germany or whatever, then yeah, it's people are in the Nuremberg trials, for instance, or as I said, the Soviets too, and the communists in China also. The different countries or regimes that persecuted people, that when they're put to justice, it's like it was righteous to put people to justice that were doing wrong to others. So that is a way to view it. Right. Also.
Whatever verdict will be in the case, we don't want there to be any gesturing or any movements that we don't agree or disagree with the verdict. We don't want to respect what the jury's decision is, and we're not going to subject the other two to the slaves of motion, whether it be from the gallery or the parties. They're not capable of following this instruction.
It's funny to hear the judge talk fast.
Outside at this time. Mrs. Adelson also as well, once the verdict is read, again, I want to advise you, do not have any slaves of motion as best you can. You are controlling yourself. Do so.
Oh, thank you, Aaron. I'm glad you're concerned for me.
Please remain jurors. Please remain.
Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. Actually, you don't look exhausted. You look happy and vindicated that justice prevailed in a case that you felt passionate about. Oh, thank you, Kay. And also, I had a fun day with my friends in the chat, and I saw Shaza there, and I've not seen her in a very long time, and she watched this trial with us. And then she's going to do some Halloween decorations and stuff like that with where she's over there and in Australia, and I thought that was so cool. And I'll see her at some other point in the future. So it's good to see her from the YSL trial. So like my friends and I got together, and I saw some other people in another stream that were I've not seen in a very long time that left LC. So it was just a really exhilarating day. At the same time, I've been doing a lot, and yeah, I could. So I'm a combination of different emotions. So thank you, Kay. Thank you.
Conceded when the jurors come in this particular time. If the jury foreperson could please rise. As the jury reached a unanimous verdict. If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
50-cent
The
fish.
defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
You daughter of Satan.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder.
Demon.
And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. 1 moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room.
Justice has been served.
Mrs. Adelson, while this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury. If you cannot control yourself, I am going to have to turn you to this process. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you need a moment to collect yourself? Before the jurors are brought back in, we will take a brief 2-minute break. Please give her tissues if she needs them.
Oh, Eagle says Donna had an orgasm. She was guzzling. Good one. Good one. Yes. Okay, Zoe. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, she enjoyed it. And she was releasing the 50-cent fish stench. The 50-cent fish stench. All right? Because she knows there's no free deke, but there's free fish. That's the 50-cent stench.
Have jurors hold before they're discharged. Yes, Your Honor. Very well.
Scared. She's scared. She has not felt an orgasm like that in centuries. Lord. The 50-cent stench. The 50-cent orgasm. Lord have mercy.
Please bring back in the jurors so we can conclude their portion of the trial.
Yeah, sure, Aaron. Sure, chat. Facts. Yes, Zoe. Yes. Yeah, she's quivering.
Members of the jury, before I discharge you for this evening, concerning whether your verdict is unanimous at the request of one of the parties, when you hear your last name, please appropriately respond.
She's saying, "Oh my God! Oh no! Oh no!" She got that. She had not felt something like that in a long time. Congratulations, Donna! You finally got your first crooked boner. The first crook boner. Scared.
To you, before you're discharged, please listen carefully. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges that are enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries.
All right, we gotta go slow motion.
Please remain seated when the jurors come in this particular time. Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict? If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as the count one of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
Control the orgasm. Do it.
Count two. We, the jury, find as follows as the count two of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree
Crooked
murder.
fish. Crooked deek.
The
No crooked
defendant
deek.
is guilty
No
of
free deek.
Conspiracy to commit first-degree
Just
murder.
fish. 50-cent fish.
Count three. We, the jury, find as follows as the count three of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder.
Oh.
And is signed and dated by the foreperson. 1 moment.
Scared.
The jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room.
She bowed for the audience. How respectful.
Mrs. Adelson, while this was not the outcome
Scared.
I'm sure that you desired,
Bro
there
is
will not
so
be
chill.
further
Like bro is so
outbursts.
chill. He's like, this I'm sure is not the outcome you desired. I mean, this is hilarious the way this dude's reacting to it. Like,
While this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury. If you cannot control yourself, I am going to have to determine if you'll be removed from the remainder of this process.
scared.
understand what I'm saying to you? Do you need a moment?
Can't control.
to collect
Oh.
yourself?
She has to collect the crooked fish
For the jurors are
Sense.
brought back in.
She's moaning, chat. She's moaning. Oh my goodness.
Minute break.
She's confident.
Please give her tissues if she needs them.
Scared. She's remembering. They're showing her baby pictures now, and she can't take control.
When the jurors are brought back into the room, does the defense wish to have the jurors polled before they are discharged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well.
Man, there's this like. It's stank in there right now. It's fish stank. Fish stank. Oh, her lawyers call us the peanut gallery. Oh, chat. We're in a situation again. You see, this is okay, you gotta understand. There's these situations where these deek arse attorneys with their crooked deeks will be a bunch of jackasses. You know what I'll add to this about Donna? She was born a jackass, she'll raised by jackasses, and she'll die a jackass. Right? She's born a jackass, she'll die a jackass. Alright? She was raised by jackasses. And see, there's situations like with Shannon. Shannon at the trial with the Crumblies, she was talking all the people online know about her. And when you take a shot at the chat, you take a shot at all of us. Alright? So I'm going to take... Alright, okay. So look at these stupid attorneys. They are upset because they didn't realize they would lose the case and have to put the flabby fat fish in a gurney. They know that they are keeping a straight face, but they know that secretly they're enjoying that flappy fish smell she's giving off after orgasm. You know what I think she is? She's full of alien plasma. Her attorneys look so stupid, they got the IQ of -4 from Temu. Oh, congratulations, Temu attorneys. I think you're going to upgrade the Sheen. And I was laughing so hard during the verdict with a billion booms. Yes, and the dangling, and she was guzzling all over the place. You got these guzzling, dangling attorneys, and she saw something she never saw before. The jury sliced off her deek, her flappy deek, and showed her the other side of it she's never seen before. These attorneys are so stupid. You see the attorney right there that's looking at her? The attorney's remembering her own baby picture. And also because she's looking at Donna's baby picture. Now she has to look at her own baby picture too. Yeah, it's like they're so stupid. They don't even know that it was daytime. They're so stupid that they were excited at their own destruction because they realized their deek was small. And the jury's was big. And somebody said for us to get jobs and stop spending our husband's money. Well, that basement dweller only gets men only, can't get any women. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but they can't get any women if they wanted to. So they only could get men. All right? And they're overweight. It's that guy that was caught on Skeet Hansen the other day that doesn't get anybody. So they're creeps and weirdos. And their little crooked Wang can't get anything. Alright? So that is true. and you have this. Look at this OPU, it's Donna. All of her attorneys are ugly. They're the excrement of a llama. They all got spit on by alpacas, including all the haters. I wrapped them up in wallpaper, put them in a bag. They're full of diarrhea, flush it down a toilet, and boom. Oh yeah, he has some pretty good catches. Pretty good catches indeed. Yes. And boom, boom, boom. The full moon. Her glasses now have to be returned to Timu. She is finished. That's it. Sharon said the brunette was okay. It was the other two, Jackie and Zellman. Zellman said, shout out to Mary Toodles. Zellman said that you have to get the peanut gallery here to judge. Ah, okay. Okay. I still see her as an accomplice of the peanut gallery, personally. That's what I think. But, yeah, Zellman, peanut gallery. Okay, so we got Zellman and Jackie. They're acting a little bit tacky. They're trying to make up for their small deke that's a bit slacky. Oh, good. Yes. Oye. We're all a bunch of packies. We're going to Zellman and get all this gold and silver out of this case. We're going to look great. Going to get the peanut gallery. But too stupid to realize that they don't even know what they're talking about, and that's the case. I'm right now roasting them and spraying full mace. What do you think of this and that? Making their religion look bad. That is the case. Having an alliance with each other unholily, defending each other even when they're wrong, is not the right thing. Zellman is so stupid, he needs to go hit the gym and hit the floor, Gangnam style. That will help him, but he doesn't want to do that because he has the piper to pay. He is ridiculous. For 50 cents, he can get it, and that's what he'll get all day. He is so cringe. He caused the judge to go on a night of a binge. Chat is always victorious. We will always defeat them. And now Zellman has been humbled, so is Jackie. In defeat, they have to walk the plank. They smell so bad they have to be put in the fish tank. And be crook for life. Zellman's day of humiliation, that's great, and that's alright. Scared. I didn't boom either, Sharon. Scared. Alright.
Please bring back in the jurors so we can conclude their portion of the trial. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. With that being said, I want to extend my thanks on behalf of the entire Second Circuit for your service in this matter. You are discharged. Have a good evening.
in now.
Do not ask it. Don't ask it.
I don't know what this, that had to do with.
And think about this and ask you about this. So before we ask you the question, that's all.
Nobody's gonna do
All right,
that.
so
What's it like in this?
this is the. This is the press conference. All right. G says, how's long for Donna to orgasm in jail? Oh, well, it seems like she's on a roll, and she's been doing it the whole time since she's gotten in there. And it'll take hose long. It'll take a moment. She has a break. But when they got the cell block hose in there, which will be right probably now when she's taking a shower, she'll be doing it all night as we speak. And she'll have continuous ones the whole time as much as she doesn't want them. Because they're all forcing her to do it because they keep on touching her, being around her constantly and not leaving her alone. So yeah, she just keeps on doing it the whole time right now. It keeps thinking about it, just it's repeating over and over again. Yes, I did not expect that to happen. Yes. All right, let's see.
This moment, what was it like to have this defendant be found guilty?
I think I just feel kind of honored to be able to deliver this win for the Markells. You know, we've heard so much about a win for the Adelsons, a win for the Adelsons, and everything that was lost in those efforts. So it's just been really cool to be a part of this win.
During one of the pre-trials, you said these trials that have become my life. It's a lot of trials at this point. Talk about what happens when you're a prosecutor and you have to continue to follow cases like this one.
Well, I mean, I do have other cases. People don't know that. There are other cases. And I hear about all of them. But obviously, this has become sort of part of my DNA after investing so much blood, sweat, and tears into this case and getting justice. So, yeah, it's been an epic battle.
Was this one tougher than Charlie's trial?
I don't know. I mean, I'm older, so I think it is. I think everyone is tougher than the last. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, more time passes and there's more stuff. There's more phones. There's more records. There's more emails. So it's a lot to organize, and it's a lot of little pieces to try to put together and try to create something cognizable that a jury can follow and get their head around.
Georgia, opening statements right out of the gate, Jackie Fulford appropriated Professor Markell's nickname, calling him Danny. A lot of people were upset about that. Did that bother you?
Not as much as it bothered some other folks. I understood what she was trying to do. It was not the classiest move, and I think she kind of realized that and seemed to correct that over the course of the trial. But yeah, probably not a great move.
And what about the amount of deliberations? Is roughly the same as Charlie, maybe a few minutes more, but not much. That surprised you because some people were predicting a longer deliberation.
A little bit. I actually lost. I thought it would be slightly shorter, but I was being pretty ambitious. But yeah, it wouldn't have surprised me if it had been more difficult for them because it was a large puzzle that kind of had to be put together. But I guess they got what they needed and what they had to do.
Were you surprised?
You are asking.
Were you surprised by the defense strategy of throwing Wendy and Charlie under the bus? And was the adoptive admissions ruling something that you pre-planned or something that you all came up with at the last moment?
We had a few incarnations of how to deal with the fact that she had adopted Charlie's really ridiculous story previously, and we didn't want her to be able to distance herself from that and create a new, better defense, which she did seem to kind of try to be doing. So we did want to try to shove that on her and then, try to explain that to the jury. Okay, here's this whole other defense that she already adopted, and it's complicated, and it has all its pushback that goes with it. So it did feel like a difficult minefield to wade through to be able to explain all that to the jury, but we wanted to make sure they understood that, hey, she's already committed to this defense that's a loser, and now she's trying to switch it up and go to this whole other place, and you gotta pick a lane, you can't do both. So I think that's kind of what we were trying to do, so hopefully we were successful.
And it sounded like the new investigation developed a lot of crazy evidence, including y'all were planning to use the phone calls, and you were not able to use it at trial. Is the sealing of this evidence going to be unsealed once now that the one has been convicted, or you know?
I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, I don't know.
And you cannot still comment, I guess, about
I think
the
not,
details.
since it's sealed, right. Yeah. It's less sexy than you imagine it to be, but I don't think I should comment on it. So it's sealed.
How did you feel when you found out that Dr. Donna was not to be testified? And you thought you were probably salivating.
I don't know about salivating. Yeah, it's not like I was gonna, wow, you guys, it's an amazing new stuff or anything, but I did put tons of preparation into that, so I was a little bit like sad when I took my binder that had 110 tabs and packed it away. So yeah, I was a little surprised. She seems like somebody that would want to tell her story, but it gets trickier and trickier when all these stories are out there, and she would have had to navigate a lot of stuff to get up there. So I do understand why she made the decision she did, and I think it was a smart one, but I was kind of expecting her to testify.
What was the new evidence that you thought in this trial might have made a difference that what you came across that you introduced?
I think the fleeing to Vietnam didn't hurt, especially since she denied it. She could have just said, yeah, I went to Vietnam. I didn't want to get arrested. But she didn't do that. She oversold, so that was helpful.
The phone number and the planner.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? How did you guys find that? Was it an aha moment?
Yeah, kind of dumb luck. I mean, that thing is so dense, and there's a bunch of them. So we've just been sort of perusing them, and somebody just stumbled upon it and had an aha moment.
What about Rob Adelson's testimony? How key was that?
I think it was important, didn't you? I mean, I thought he was so genuine, and what a guy to be able to do that. I mean, what a terrible situation for him to be put in, and to be able to rise above that and do the right thing. It's really impressive.
Did you all wait for this trial to put him on? Why did he not testify previously?
I just didn't want to do it to him unless I felt like it was absolutely necessary, and I really felt like we needed him in this one.
Georgia, does Wendy have reason to be worried tonight?
You said that word. That's a bad word.
A bad word. Let me
No,
ask you another
don't be.
question.
Worry's a bad word.
Well,
Worry.
last time,
Should we say stay tuned? Do we need to stay tuned?
Stay
I
tuned.
mean, you can stay tuned.
one other question for me. I mean, your father played football. I understand. I went to my first Knowles game, and I take all the credit
Oh,
for the Bama
great
win.
one.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
I take all the credit
Go
for
Knowles.
that. And I found out maybe through the grapevine that someone else in your family.
All right, that is Prosecutor Georgia Kappelman answering some questions from the media.
Came out to cheers.
To cheers. Unclear who was cheering.
Yes,
specifically.
it was. Yes, we could not see.
But clearly, just a fascinating dynamic there. It's, I was in those gaggles in 2022 when we interviewed her. Kind of a different demeanor each time.
Yes, absolutely.
She said each case felt more difficult than the last, noting that she does get, everyone gets older as the years progress. But for those
All right, I'm about to do a review on the trial that is coming up, and then after that we're going to watch the Amber Heard being crossed by Depp's attorney. Shout out to the Spaceship Cats. That's not what I want to put. I'll do this all over again. I like it when I copy and paste something and it doesn't do what I want it to do. I love that. Alright. All right, so Colt's neck murders lawyer wants invade from Paul Canirio's phone computers thrown out. In the latest in a string of pre-trial hearings, Paul Canirio's defense attorney added data from her client's cell phone and other electronic devices to the list of evidence she once excluded from his upcoming trial in 2018. Murders of four family members. Monica Mastiglione of the Public Defender's Office argued June 4 before Superior Court Judge Mark C. Lemio that all evidence collected from Canario's cell phone, Apple Watch, and iPad and laptop should be suppressed because the warrants granting the investigators permission to search those devices were overly broad and gave them unfettered access to all data and contained on them. In this March 18, 2019 photo, Paul Carino, who is accused of deleting brother and his brother's family in Colt's Neck, is arraigned before Monmouth County Superior Court in Joseph Oxley. Right. That included 10 years of photographs, images, and personal appointments, she said. All right. Similar to the home phone, contains most immediate information exists about the person. Whether Mr. Carino took photograph of his dog in 2014 has nothing to do with the crime they investigated. In persuasive hearing, the pretrial hearing, June 3, Canario's defense team also asked Lemu to suppress evidence of the home security system, take the garage and defendant's Ocean Township home, bar to state ballistics expert from testifying in the trial. Mastiglione, in arguing that everything found in Carino's electronic devices be excluded from the trial, did not reveal what incriminating evidence may have been contained on them. An assistant Monmouth County prosecutor said because the defendant and one of the victims were brothers and business partners, it was reasonable for investigators to think the phone would contain communications between the two and reveal information about the motive for and planning on the murders. Lemu did not rule Mastiglione's motion to suppress everything derived from electronic devices, but indicated he may consider limiting how far back in time investigators can go to the phones and other devices. All right, let's see. Over here, I'll explain more. I'll answer your question. New Jersey. Oh no, that's not. As of September 25, Colt Neck Murders trial for Paul Carino is expected to begin on September 25, nearly 7 years after the deletion of his brother's family in November 2018. After a series of delays, including the coup, pandemic, and multiple pre-trial motions, a trial date has finally been set. Oh, Aaron, it was lovely celebrating with you too. Good night, my friend. All right. Victims on November 20, 2018. Keith Canario, 50, and his wife Jennifer, 45, their son Jesse daughter, were found deleted in Colts, New Jersey mansion and has been set on fire. According to prosecutors, Paul, Keith's older brother, shot and deleted Keith outside the home. He then allegedly murdered Jennifer and the two children inside the shooting and stabbing them repeatedly. Authorities believe he then set the mansion on fire to destroy evidence. Hours later, Canario allegedly set his own home in nearby Ocean Township on the fire to create a ruse that the entire Canario family was being targeted. His wife and daughters were able to escape. Motive. The lesion were allegedly motivated by a financial dispute. Prosecutors say Keith had discovered Paul was stealing from a technology company and they owned and was going to cut him off financially. Moki, I think that we have. Yes. Over time, people came and went. And I don't know, they do other things in their lives. Princess Dot will come back one day at some point, she told me. Yeah. Yes, Moki, remember, the reason why they left LC is because they didn't like the way the chat was without the mods there. In my opinion. And they didn't like the way that the channel was in general. It became something different. So that's my opinion. But it would be up for them to tell you what they think. Is my theory. A lot of my old friends, the old group that I was in, is pretty much not there anymore. But, you know, we saw them today. And it was nice seeing them. But yeah, I miss the old chat, definitely. Feels like it, but some of us, but you know, we have a new chat group that I'm glad we have, because we have like a new group that formed later. But right, I do agree with you though, Moki. Oh, about Remy, I think she said before that in one of the chats that she was taking a break, but she's doing all right. She said. Recent legal proceedings. The case has been significantly delayed by several pretrial hearings and motions. Most recently, they have focused on admissible and certain evidence. July 25, Superior Court, Mark Lemieux suppressed evidence from Canario's home. You're welcome, Autumn. Security system ruling that police had unlawfully seized without a warrant. July 25, also suppressed evidence of the MacBook, iPad, allowed some evidence from the iPhone and Apple Watch be used. Yes, Rita, I've heard of that, yes. All right. In Adelson, a motion hearing regarding admissibility and DNA evidence processed that STRMX software had been held in 24, ruling in March 25 evidence could be used in trial. All right. Now we're going to go to the other, this Depp thing.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Depp hasn't looked at you once this entire trial, has he?
Not that I've noticed, no.
You've looked at him, though, many times, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
You know exactly why Mr. Depp won't look back at you, don't you?
I do.
He promised you you would never see his eyes again. Isn't that true?
I don't recall if he said that.
One of the last times you ever saw Mr. Depp was when you met him in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
That was the second to last time I saw him, yes.
And this is after you had publicly accused him of domestic violence.
I got my restraining order before that, yes.
And this is after you had obtained the domestic violence restraining order against him.
That's correct.
Let's please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 1229. For the record, it's at 1101 through 1209. I'm going to ask that it be admitted into evidence.
Any objection to 1229?
Yes.
All right, 1229, you want to enter it in its entirety?
Yes, please.
Okay, 1229 entered in its entirety. Ready to play your section?
No. Oh, no, I love the same and all this, everything you just... I wanted to touch you. Really, after all the shit you just said? I just wanted to give you all this shit you fucking used me up, you wanna touch me? Please stop. Please stop. Please, I just wanted to hug you and say bye. I didn't want to say anything bad. We did that last time. It's fine. That was fine. No, because I'm nothing to you. And I will always be nothing to you. What, you're not sure?
That's you and Mr. Depp in that recording.
That is.
And this is from when you and Mr. Depp met in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
Yes, that's what it sounds like. That was in the hotel. We met once after that as well.
This is after you publicly accused him of domestic abuse.
Yes, and got my TRO.
And he tells you you will not see my eyes again, doesn't he?
Yes, he does in that recording.
And he kept that promise, hasn't he?
As far as I know, he cannot look at me.
He won't look at you, right, Miss Heard?
He can't.
One of the first questions your counsel asked you in direct is, why are you here? Do you remember that?
I do.
Let's please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 357A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. And for the record, it's 2122 through 2140. That's your voice on that recording, right?
Yes, it is.
And you were speaking with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And you said to Mr. Depp, quote, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence, end quote. That's what you said, right?
I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes. I thought it was preposterous.
And the man you beat up numerous times. Right, Miss Heard?
I could never hurt Johnny.
You're here in this courtroom because Mr. Depp finally told the world that he is a victim of domestic violence.
I know that he is suing me and has sued other people or corporations that have said that as well.
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
I found it hard to believe that he could or that he would do that, considering the relationship he and I had. I thought it would be crazy for him to do so, knowing what
I know we lived through.
Or, as you said to him in that recording, who was going to believe that Johnny Depp, a man, is a victim of domestic violence, right?
With all due respect, I wasn't saying it because he's a man. I was saying it because he's a man who beat me up for 5 years.
Mr. Depp is your victim, isn't he?
No, ma'am.
And once he left you, you continued to abuse him publicly by calling him an abuser, didn't you?
He is an abuser, and you can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
Let's look at some of that. Mr. Depp wears rings on every finger, doesn't he, Miss Heard?
That's my experience, yes.
And they're not delicate rings, are they?
No, they are not.
Every one of his fingers is adorned, your words, big, chunky rings. Isn't that right?
That's my experience of him.
And Mr. Depp is always wearing rings, right, Miss Heard?
That's my experience of him.
And you've never known him not to wear these rings?
That's my experience, is he normally wore rings, yes.
So Mr. Depp was wearing these big, chunky rings on every finger. Every incident of abuse you've described to this jury, right?
I can't say for certain it was in every single incident.
But you've never known him not to wear rings, right?
In general, my experience with Johnny is that he wears rings almost all the time.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony in a deposition in this matter in January of this year?
I do.
Can we please play from your deposition, day 2, 512, page 512, lines 11 through 15?
You said he hit you and he was wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard? So he hit you with rings on every finger?
I don't know if I've ever known Johnny to not wear rings.
Yeah.
Ms. Heard, you testified to an incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times. Do you recall that?
That's correct.
And you testified, quote, you don't know how many times he hit you in the face.
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times while he was wearing rings on this occasion, correct?
Which occasion in March are you referencing? You weren't
The
specific.
testimony that you gave on day 15 of this trial, March of 2013. You weren't specific as to the day.
There were several incidents.
The one where he hit you several times in the face.
I'm sorry, just so I understand better. There were several incidents in March. Which one are you asking me about?
The time that he hit you several times in the face wearing rings.
Well, he pretty
in
much
March
always.
of 2013.
Right. What are you asking me? I'm sorry.
He was wearing rings on that occasion?
I pretty much always knew him to wear rings.
Okay, let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 170A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. You testified that this is a picture you took after that incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that was one where he grabbed me.
And hit you in the face so many times that you don't remember. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And there's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
And there's no medical records reflecting that you sought treatment after this alleged incident either.
I did not seek medical treatment at this time.
So there's no medical records reflecting any injuries to your face after he hit you several times.
I did not need to go to the doctor at the time.
Despite hitting you several times that you lost count with rings on his fingers.
That's correct. I did not seek medical attention, other than my therapist.
You testified to another incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you while he was wearing a lot of rings. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes, I remember that.
There isn't a picture of you with injuries after that alleged incident, is there?
I don't know if I've seen one. I can't recall. There are a lot of pictures.
You didn't produce any photographs after that alleged incident, did you, Ms.
I don't know if I took one or if it's included. I'm not quite sure which ones.
You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that alleged incident that your lip went into your teeth. You don't remember that, right? You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that incident, right?
I don't believe I've seen that picture admitted.
That picture doesn't exist.
I don't know which one you're talking about. We have pictures from March 2013, yes.
The only picture that you've produced and shown to this jury is the one that was just put up on the screen, where you said he hit you multiple times in the face, and you appear to have what is a bruise on your arm, correct?
I believe this is the only picture that's in evidence right now.
That's the only picture you've shown to this jury from March 2013, correct?
I believe so.
You testified about an incident in Russia on or about June 26, 2013. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that Mr. Depp, quote, whacked you in the face.
That's correct.
And you went to the bathroom after that, right?
I did.
And then, according to your testimony, when you came out of the bathroom, Jerry Judge, Mr. Depp's security guard, who's passed away, pointed out that your nose was bleeding, right?
He did that in the hallway.
And you said you hadn't known that your nose was bleeding until Jerry Judge pointed it out to you?
Yes, that's correct. I was unaware until he brought it up to me. I didn't see it when I was in the bathroom, but I wasn't looking.
So it's your testimony that you went into the bathroom and didn't look in the mirror, which I assume was in the bathroom, to notice that your nose was bleeding?
That's not why I went into the bathroom. I went into the bathroom crying. I don't even know if I paid attention to the mirror. I certainly didn't enough to notice any blood.
And you didn't take any pictures of your bloody nose either, did you?
I did not.
But pictures were taken of you in Russia, though. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We had a dinner.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1248. Ms. Hurd, this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp in Russia, correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to admit.
All right, no objection. 1248 in evidence. You can publish.
And this is you and Mr. Depp in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, correct?
It was a dinner function, I believe, in promotion of the movie. Wasn't the premiere, if I recall.
You don't have any visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1249. This is a picture of you, isn't it right?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 1249.
All right, 1249 in evidence.
This is also a picture from when you were in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, right?
That is correct.
And you have no visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Even though Mr. Depp whacked you in the face so hard that your nose bled?
He did.
While wearing chunky big rings, right?
That's correct.
You also testify that Mr. Depp, again, whacked you in the face after the Met Gala in May of 2014, right?
That is correct.
You testified that you thought he hit you so hard he broke your nose.
That's correct.
You said your nose was, quote, swollen, discolored, red.
That is correct. I took a picture of that.
You testified you took a picture of your face after this.
I did.
But you didn't show that picture to this jury, did you?
I would like to.
But you didn't show it, did you?
That's not up to me.
You understand you were under an obligation to produce all photographs after any alleged incidents of violence, right, Ms. Hurd?
I produced everything.
You didn't produce any photographs after the Met Gala?
I produced everything.
You also understand that you're under an obligation to produce all medical records reflecting any injuries you allegedly sustained from Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct.
And you haven't produced any pictures or any medical records reflecting a broken nose after the Met Gala in May of 2014, have you?
I have given everything to my lawyers, everything. I've turned over literally everything that I have.
Is it your testimony, Ms. Heard, that you sought medical treatment after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose after the Met Gala?
Not after the Met Gala. I did not seek medical attention, no.
You also attended an event after the Met Gala in May of 2014, didn't you?
That is correct.
And you went to the All-Star Comedy Tribute to Don Rickles.
That is correct.
That was the next night after the Met Gala.
That is correct.
And there were pictures of you taken at this event.
Yes.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1252. This is a picture of you, Ms. Heard,
Yes, it is.
at that event,
Yes, it is.
the night after the Met Gala,
Yes, it is.
the night after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose.
I'm not sure if it was broken, for the record, but yeah, you should see what it looked like underneath the makeup.
He whacked you so hard in the face that you thought you had broken your nose.
Exactly.
Right. Permission to admit this photograph.
All right, 1252 in evidence.
This is a picture of you, Mr. Depp, and Don Rickles, right?
That is correct.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1253. This is another picture from that evening, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, it is.
Permission to admit Exhibit 1253 and publish it.
All right, so moved. 1253 in evidence.
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he had broken your nose.
He did whack me in the face, and I did think it broke my nose.
And this is you the night after.
Yes, it is.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254. This is also a picture of you at the same event, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254.
All right, 1254 in evidence. You can publish. Thank you.
And just to confirm now that the jury can see it, this is a picture of you at the same event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he broke your nose.
This is a picture of me after he did whack me in the face.
The night after, right?
Yes, it is. I believe it was the night after, yes.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
I'm wearing makeup.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
Right. And makeup covers up swelling, right?
Makeup will not cover up swelling. Ice will, though.
Ice will cover up swelling?
Ice reduces swelling. Normally the swelling after that kind of injury is not as bad as you might imagine, and for me, it wasn't that bad. I have a picture of it underneath the makeup. That's how I know how to reference it.
A picture you haven't produced or shown to this jury, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
But you haven't shown it to this jury?
I would very much like to. It's not my job.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes, that's fine.
Is in the car on the way back on the way to the event to make sure that there were, quote, no visible marks, right?
I was checking on my phone after the event to make sure that you couldn't see anything.
Your testimony was that you were checking in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were no marks on your back.
Perhaps I misspoke or misunderstood. It was on the way back from it. Was after I was concerned. Concerned that there would be marks in any photographs since we were being photographed at Johnny's press event.
And you didn't show this jury a picture of you in that backless dress, though, did you?
I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
You didn't show this jury a picture of you at the Mordecai premiere wearing a backless dress, did you?
I haven't had the opportunity to.
Okay.
I assume you have it?
I do. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1256. This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp, or the back of you, at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit and publish this picture.
All right, 1256 in evidence.
This is you in the backless dress at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, right?
That is correct.
You would agree that there are no bruises or visible marks on your back in this picture?
No, not that I could see.
I'll show you one other photo. If we could please have Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257. This is a front angle picture of you and Mr. Depp at that premiere, correct?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257.
All right, 1257 in evidence.
I'll show you one more picture. Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258. And again, Ms. Heard, this is you and Mr. Depp at the Mordecai premiere?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258.
All right, 1258 in evidence. Publish.
And that's the backless dress, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You also told this jury about an incident in Australia in March of 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that after this alleged incident, you had cuts on your forearms, right?
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had cuts on the bottoms of your feet as well.
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had a bruise across your jaw from when Mr. Depp, quote, clocked you in the face, end quote.
That's true.
You didn't take any pictures of these injuries while you were in Australia, did you?
I don't think I took any pictures.
You just took 2 pictures of Mr. Depp's writing on a mirror. Isn't that right?
I believe so, yes.
So you had your phone on you, right?
At some point I did have my phone.
And your iPad?
I had my iPad, I believe.
And you testified that you were also raped with a liquor bottle in Australia, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No, I did not want to tell anyone.
Not for the cuts?
No.
Not for the injuries to your face?
I didn't need to.
You also told the jury about an incident on December 15, 2015, right?
Where? I'm sorry.
December 15th, 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You told this jury that after this incident, you had a broken nose.
It certainly felt like it.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony on day 16th in this trial? You were
Yes,
under
I do.
oath, right?
Yes.
We can have a transcript for the jury. or excuse me, for the witness.
If you're going to repeat, I'd like a copy of it.
Okay. All right. We'll get it. I will do. Thank you, Judy.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
All right. Yes, ma'am.
And would you like a copy? Sir?
Yes, please.
If I can please direct your attention, Ms. Hurd, to page of day 16, 4593 of the jury trials transcript. Lines 8 through 13.
On which page? I'm sorry.
4593.
Yes.
Starting on line 8. I thought I probably...
Okay, Milky, good night to you. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you. It was a great day with you.
had a concussion and certainly thought, excuse me, strike that, let's start over. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly that I had a broken nose. There was blood everywhere, blood all over the pillows. My head was bleeding from the ripped out hair, chunks of hair on the floor, all over the place actually. So lines 9, that I had a broken nose. Do you recall giving that testimony, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, exactly.
So you had a broken nose, right?
That's absolutely what I thought.
And you told this jury that you had 2 black eyes after this incident, right?
I did have 2 black eyes after that incident.
And you testified that you also had a busted lip from when Mr. Depp punched you.
That is correct. From December, yes, that's correct.
You testified that the lip wound kept reopening when you moved your mouth.
That's correct.
You also testified that you had bruising on your temple.
That's correct.
And bruising on your chin.
Correct.
You also testified that your head was bleeding from where Mr. Depp ripped chunks of your hair out.
I remember, yes.
And that you had, quote, gross, pussy, and, quote, bruising around your temple.
In my scalp, yeah.
Now, for this incident, you did take pictures.
That's correct.
And we will look at some of those in a minute, but I first want to talk to you about your appearance on the James Corden show.
Sure. Can I close this?
Sure. You appeared on the James Corden show the day after this alleged incident, right?
I did.
And that was December 16th, 2015?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please pull up a clip of your appearance from that evening. If we could, Plaintiff's Exhibit 35. And for the record, we will only be playing a portion of this, so we will call it Plaintiff's Exhibit 35A.
All right, any objection? No. 35A in evidence.
I agree. If we may have it please published.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies. If we can please start that over.
Start it over, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I grew
That was you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Ms. Hurd?
That was.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 98. These are pictures of you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Ms. Heard?
They look like freeze frames, like screen grabs, stills. They're not like it's not like a photo shoot, it doesn't seem.
But on the James Corden show, correct?
From that appearance, yes.
Move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
Any objections? All right. And Ms. Bernhoff, you could move the microphone and turn it on for you, so Judy and I are having trouble hearing you.
Sorry about that.
All right, thank you. All right, 98 in evidence. Thank you.
That's a photo of you opening your mouth on the right, right?
That's correct.
And again, a larger view of the same photo on the bottom.
That's correct.
With a split lip.
You've seen pictures of it without makeup. Yes.
So you had a split lip when you were
sure
moving
did.
your mouth that way
I sure did.
in those photographs.
Absolutely.
Okay. You did take pictures of your alleged injuries after December 15th, correct? And you showed those to the jury?
I sure did, yes.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 516, which is already in evidence. You testified that this is a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015, right?
It was.
And if we could also please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 517, which is also in evidence.
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is also a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015.
That's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 409, which is already in evidence. These pictures ended up in People magazine in June of 2016. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You gave these pictures to People magazine after you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I didn't personally know.
This was you protecting Mr. Depp after you got the restraining order against him, isn't it?
No, this is him calling me a liar and me forcing to prove it, as I mentioned to you earlier.
So you did give these pictures to People magazine?
No, I gave these pictures actually to my lawyers and my representatives at the time.
So it's your testimony, Ms. Heard, that your lawyers and representatives gave these pictures of their client to People magazine in the middle of a contentious divorce?
I certainly did not personally give it, no.
You also have a medical record from after the December 15th, 2015 incident, don't you?
A partial one, yes.
You went to see Dr. Kipper's office a couple days later.
That's right. He wasn't in the office.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 47, which is already in evidence? This is your medical record for December 17th, 2015, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
I don't think so, no. I don't think I spoke to Kipper. I didn't speak to Kipper that day. And
but you went to Dr. Kipper's office and were seen, correct?
I went to Dr. Kipper's office for a concussion check.
Right, okay. And this medical record is from that visit, correct?
Partially, yes.
Scroll down, please, if we could. The signature, Kipper, down below. This is the entirety of the medical record, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, what I meant by partial is I didn't talk about what happened to me. I didn't get into my injuries. I didn't get into what happened or ask for anything other than should I get some sort of scan done.
But this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
I'd have to read it in full, but I don't know.
Well, let's do that. we could please go, well, under skin on the second page, it reads intact, normal color, moisture, hair distribution, texture, turgor, no signs of, oh, this is going to be hard, cyanosis, mottling, jaundice.
It also says I'm a well-nourished male.
Right. I have no idea what that means.
I think this medical record's missing a lot of things.
Yeah, but it doesn't document any physical injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
Probably because there was nothing to document, right, Ms. Hurd?
I disagree with you on that.
You don't have any medical records reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I saw an ENT after my relationship ended.
And you saw an ENT, it's your testimony under oath that you saw an ENT for broken noses that you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp?
No, but the ENT told me I sustained
Objection.
multiple fractures.
No, I'm going to move to strike.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll move to strike. Okay.
Thank you. So again, just to try my question, there's no medical records reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp, is there, Ms. Hurd?
I don't know what made it in evidence, but I do know that I documented that visit and that everything was given to my attorneys.
Ms. Hurd, you never went to see any doctor or surgeon to treat a broken nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp, yes or no?
I never sought treatment for a broken nose while I was with Johnny.
Or after you were with Mr. Depp, as a result of any injuries you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp?
Afterwards, yes, I did.
And you didn't produce those medical records in this case?
I would object, Your Honor. She did.
I did.
I don't know. All right.
They have not been produced, Your Honor.
They not only
All right, if you would
produced.
come and approach.
I don't know. I don't recall.
You don't recall one way or another seeking dental care for any injuries you allegedly sustained?
You asked me about if I had produced records or if I had records. That's a different question.
Did you ever see a dentist or an oral surgeon as a result of any injuries you sustained with Mr. Depp?
Not about any injury I had from Johnny, no.
And you don't have any medical records reflecting that you required any reconstructive work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I never required reconstructive work, so there would be no records.
What you do have, Ms. Hurd, are pictures of Mr. Depp sleeping, though, right? The jury saw a lot of those.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hurd, let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1090, which is already in evidence. You took this photograph, right, Ms. Hurd?
That's correct.
And you testified that this was taken in Tokyo in July of 2013, correct?
Yes.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out.
That's a yes.
And I took a picture of him because he wouldn't remember. He claimed he didn't pass out that way. And sometimes security would carry him like a baby into bed, get him changed, and he would be none the wiser. So I started taking pictures of it so that he knew that it was real, that it had gotten this bad.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1091, which is already in evidence. You took this picture as well.
Yes.
And this is the picture that was taken in the Bahamas, right?
It's one of them, yes.
And this is a picture of Mr. Depp taking a nap on his tropical island.
I believe he was on the nod, but as he would say.
Sleeping on the nod on his island.
They're very different, in my opinion. And
Okay.
yes, he is on the island.
On vacation.
We were on vacation, yes.
Let's also take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1092, which is also in evidence. You also took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct. I did.
And this is another picture of Mr. Depp asleep in a chair.
No, he was nodding off. Sleep is different. When you're nodding off, you're high on drugs. Didn't even feel the cigarette in his hand that had, been burning on his leg. It was cause for alarm for me, naturally, because I cared about him.
It's your testimony under oath that Mr. Depp is holding a cigarette in this picture?
He had been.
You seem to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping, don't you?
I hated it. I hated it.
Let's look at Defendant's Exhibit 1094, which is also in evidence. You took this picture of Mr. Depp as well, didn't you?
I did.
You decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right?
He was nodding off, and I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication change and the drug use had gotten, where he wouldn't even feel ice cream or a lit cigarette on him, and it scared me.
So you
really.
took a picture of it?
Yes, I wanted him to get help, and Johnny's surrounded by enablers who clean up after him.
Objection,
and protect
Your
him.
Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after yes, that she took this picture.
Still responsive, Your Honor.
The question was, did you take this picture?
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. This isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it?
No, it's not.
You wouldn't agree that this is, or you would agree with me that this is an embarrassing scene, right?
Yes, I think it's a part of getting help, is looking at it, seeing it.
But you sent this picture to one of your friends, didn't you?
I don't recall.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 252. We'll only be looking at the portion of this document, so if we could please call it Defendant's Exhibit 252A.
252A.
And for ease, we've gone ahead and redacted it.
Yes, I was asking for support. That's correct.
There's no question yet, Ms. Heard. So directing your attention, I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 252A.
Any objection? Any objection, Ms. Brito? Could you turn your microphone again? I'm sorry. Thank you.
I need to see it first because I don't know what they redacted.
252.
We redacted the identifiers and anything that's not Ms. Heard's
Up or down on
text messages. Consistent with hearsay.
Do you remember we approach?
Okay.
Ms. Heard, does this refresh your recollection that you did in fact send this picture to your friend Rocky Pennington?
Yes, I did.
And you sent it to her on August 7th, 2014 at 11:24 p.m., correct?
That is correct.
So you sent Ms. Pennington this picture of Mr. Depp with ice cream spilled on him, right?
That is correct.
And you wrote, quote, "This is what I've been dealing with," end quote. Did I read that right?
You did read that right. That's correct.
And this is you protecting Mr. Depp?
That is me getting support from my best friend.
This is you supporting Mr. Depp?
This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support.
You weren't afraid the monster would get upset that you took this picture?
This was opiate Johnny. This is a different version of him. This is opiate on the nod Johnny.
And you weren't afraid that opiate Johnny, or the monster as you called him, would get upset that you sent this picture to your friend?
Well, he's all of those things. Of course he could get upset. Of course that's scary to me, of course. But
didn't stop you from sending this picture to your friend, did it?
why would it?
Mr. Depp's right hand is in his pocket, right, Ms. Heard? In this
Yes,
picture?
that's correct.
He also showed this jury pictures of cocaine. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please take a look at one of those. If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 167A, which is already in evidence. Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to the photograph. This is a photograph you took in March of 2013, right?
That is correct.
And this was taken at your apartment in Orange?
Yes,
And this is your breakfast table?
that is correct.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp left this breakfast table just the way you took it?
That is correct.
So this is what the table looked like after Mr. Depp had been doing cocaine?
Well, clearly he has yet to snort these lines.
There are 4 lines of cocaine on this table, right, Ms. Heard?
In this picture, I see 4 lines.
There isn't any cocaine residue around those lines, right?
Not that I can tell, no.
Doesn't really look like anyone's been doing cocaine off that table, does it?
With all due respect, I'm not sure you know how that works.
I'm asking if you do. You've testified you've done cocaine.
I have.
Doesn't really look like Mr. Depp or anyone was doing cocaine off that table, does it?
I beg to differ with you on that. When you snort cocaine, typically it goes into your nose.
And there's
Doesn't stay
residue.
on the table.
There's residue from that cocaine when your lips and nose touch the table, right?
Well, the tampon applicator next to the driver's license that you see is a device that I believe my sister had taught him to use in order to put the cocaine in your nose.
Mr. Depp is a pretty heavy smoker, right?
He is.
And that's a cigarette in the ashtray in the back there? Back right?
Yes, it looks like one of his hand rolls.
There's no other cigarettes in that ashtray, are there?
I see one cigarette.
The one that's not smoked?
That's correct.
There's no ash in that ashtray either, is there?
Not that I can tell in this picture.
It's pretty clean.
In this picture, it looks like it, yes.
It's a pretty neat table. Wouldn't you agree?
Depends on what you would call neat, I suppose.
And you sent this picture to your friend, Rocky Pennington, as well, didn't you?
I sure did.
And when you sent it, you said, quote, "Look at my morning," or something like that. Is that right?
Yay for mornings.
So you have a habit of sending staged photographs to your friend Rocky, don't you?
I had a habit of communicating with my best friend about what was going on in my life.
You don't have any pictures of Mr. Depp actually consuming cocaine, do you?
I don't think I have a picture of him mid-snort. No.
You don't even have any pictures of Mr. Depp with cocaine.
What do you mean by that?
Holding cocaine, standing next to cocaine, sitting next to cocaine.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you haven't shown any of those pictures like that to the jury, have you?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I never tried.
But you were able to catch him sleeping, right?
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
And you also captured a video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen that was played again for this jury today, beating up some cabinets. Do you recall that?
Sorry, say that again?
You recall capturing Mr. Depp in the kitchen of one of his homes, beating up some cabinets?
Yes. Slamming things around, yes.
So you took that video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen, right?
I did.
And you took it on one of your iPad devices?
I took it on my iPad.
You were deposed in August of 2016 in connection with your divorce proceedings for Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And you will recall that the video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen was released online the day before your deposition in August of 2016, don't you?
That's correct.
You're the one who released that video.
Incorrect.
Isn't that true?
That's incorrect. I flew in from another place at the time. I remember learning about it when I landed.
So it's just a coincidence that the video you took of Mr. Depp was released the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp.
I absolutely had nothing to do with that. I wouldn't even know how to do something like that.
You settled your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
That sounds right.
And in connection with that settlement, you received $7 million from Mr. Depp, true?
That's correct.
And then
6.8, exactly.
Your settlement amount was $7 million.
That's correct.
And then you released a statement in which you claimed you would be donating the entire $7 million to charity, right?
That's correct.
You stated you would be donating half of the $7 million to the ACLU.
That's correct.
And you would be donating the other half to Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
That is correct.
And you also stated, with respect to the $7 million divorce settlement, that money played no role except for the extent that you could donate the money to charity.
Yes, that's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1259. This is an article entitled Amber Heard Donates Johnny Depp Divorce Settlement to Charity. Read her statement in full. Is that correct?
That's what the title says, yes.
Directing your attention to the portion on the second page where it says, quote, read the statement below. Is that the statement you released, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit the statement and the article as redacted.
Objection, hearsay.
It's her statement.
This is not her statement. This is some.
She just testified, Your Honor, that it's her statement.
May I say the full?
Everything else is redacted.
Okay, then I have no objection.
All right, 1259 in evidence as redacted.
The statement reads, as described in the restraining order and divorce settlement, money played no role for me personally and never has, except to the extent that I could donate it to charity, and in doing so, hopefully help those less able to defend themselves. As reported in the media, the amount received in the divorce was $7 million, and $7 million is being donated. This is over and above any funds that I have given away in the past and will continue to give away in the future. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct. I don't remember that last line, but I have no, it doesn't stand out to me as wrong.
There's nothing inaccurate in the statement.
Not that I recognize, no.
Mr. Depp donated $100,000 of the divorce settlement directly to the ACLU. Is that right?
Right at the beginning of the divorce settlement, he donated $100,000 to each charity on my behalf or towards my contribution.
So $100,000
to each.
To the ACLU.
And to the Children's Hospital.
And in response, you publicly demanded that Mr. Depp pay the divorce settlement directly to you instead of the charities, right?
That was always the agreement, actually, is for him to pay me directly. It was not his money as per the settlement agreement to give away and reap a tax benefit from. I said if he wants to do it and give to charity all of a sudden, then he should pay the correct amount and not try to get a big tax break for it. So effectively for his tax bracket, he should be paying double that amount to the charity directly. And if he wanted to pay the charity directly, he could. He could do that, was fine with me, but he would need to pay the adjusted amount.
Ultimately, the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement was paid directly to you, right?
Over time, yes.
And Mr. Depp didn't end up paying the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement directly to the charities you identified.
That is correct. He paid the installments to me.
You stopped that from happening, didn't you?
I don't understand what your question is. I'm sorry.
You stopped Mr. Depp from paying the charities that you had named directly.
That is incorrect. I said if you want to pay the charities directly, pay the adjusted amount, or pay as per our agreement in the settlement or in the divorce, as per our agreement.
You also
and he
publicly
chose to do the former, not the latter. I mean, the other way around.
You also publicly stated that the $7 million divorce settlement should be paid to the charities immediately in full, right?
If he wanted to pay it in the way that he was suggesting, yes.
And you said publicly that the payments to the charities should not be drawn out over many years, right?
I said that I don't recall the exact words that I used, but basically that he shouldn't use this as a novel interest in getting a tax break. That if he wanted to do that and not pay me the settlement, that was fine, but he would have to pay the adjusted amount and not make it, a commitment he would not fulfill or try to avoid in some other way.
And that's because you wanted the entire world to think that you were donating every penny of the $7 million divorce settlement as soon as you received it from Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
No, I was going to be receiving it in installments, and I would be paying in installments the donations.
In fact, you released a statement in response to Mr. Depp's $100,000 donations to the ACLU and CHLA, didn't you?
I don't recall.
Let's see if we can refresh your recollection. If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1260. This is an article entitled Amber Heard and Johnny Depp Row Over Divorce Donations. And if I could direct your attention to where it says, I believe it's on the second page, her spokeswoman responded in a statement. The language that follows the statement you released.
Objection, hearsay, spokeswoman, it's not her.
A spokesperson is an exception, Your Honor.
You want to come forward?
Really?
You released a statement
May
through.
we approach again?
Okay.
This is a redacted one.
Could you please turn your microphone on? I'm sorry, Ms. Burnhoff.
Your Honor, they gave me a redacted, but I don't have the unredacted to be able to see the full document.
I plan to admit it, or ask that it be admitted in redacted form. I'm taking away any hearsay, and I'm just trying to lay the foundation that this is a statement she released through a spokesperson.
How would I know whether there's more to it that shouldn't be redacted, Your Honor, if I don't see the full document?
Your Honor, the witness can testify as to whether this is a full statement or not.
The witness can't do, we have the right to be able to see the document.
All right. Do you have a document that's not redacted?
We can pull it up on our computers.
Okay.
Just give us a moment, Your Honor.
All right.
I can represent this is the full statement that's reported.
Okay, give her an opportunity to look at the unredacted one.
Thank you.
Sorry, Ms. Braddock. May I approach?
Yes.
So, Your Honor, can we have a copy of this?
Yeah, you can get a copy of that
Happily.
later
Yes.
today. Okay.
Right.
All right.
I mean, I think she should be giving us copies of the full.
Well, I
thing
understand, but
before.
we'll take care of that. But
Okay.
as of right now, can we continue?
We can, Your Honor, but I have an objection because of, there's some quotation marks missing.
Okay, come forward.
All right. So directing your attention, Ms. Heard, where it says her spokeswoman responded in a statement.
Your
The
Honor-
language that follows.
Your Honor, again, she can't read it. She has to show it
The
to
language
her.
that follows.
Right. If you want to lay a
Is this-
foundation to that, go ahead.
You released a statement after Mr. Depp donated $100,000 to the ACLU and $100,000 to CHLA. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And the language that follows is the statement you released in response to Mr. Depp's donations, right?
I don't know if this is the official statement. I have no idea.
The statement that starts
Objection, Your Honor.
at Amber Heard. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Would you please read that to yourself, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Okay. Did you read all the way to the very bottom where the last word is supported?
Yes.
Okay. That's a statement you released through your spokeswoman after Mr. Depp made the donations to the CHLA and the ACLU. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I do not recall exactly what my statement was. I don't disagree with anything in the statement, but I just simply don't recall what the statement was we released.
Is there anything inaccurate in that statement, Ms. Heard?
No.
Okay. I'm going to move to admit.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
No, I'll overrule the objection. 1260 and evidence over objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. The statement reads, Amber Heard appreciates Johnny Depp's novel interest in supporting two of her favorite charities, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union for Domestic Violence, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. This is great and unexpected news. And it continues. However, if Johnny wishes to change the settlement agreement, we must insist that he honor the full amount by donating $14 million to charity, which, after accounting for his tax deduction, is equal to his $7 million payment obligation to Amber. And it continues. We would also insist that the full amount be paid immediately and not drawn out over many years. Anything less would be a transparent attempt by Johnny's counsel, Laura Wasser and Patty Glazer, to reduce their client's true payment by half under the guise of newfound concern for charities that he has never previously supported, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Thank you. After this, you kept commenting about the donation of your divorce settlement, right?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. You spoke about donating your divorce settlement on a Danish TV show, correct?
I believe I said I had, I believe I said I donated it to charity, but it was already printed or already commented on and stated in the press. I had already released that information in the press. I think I just confirmed it on that show.
You appeared on a show called RTL Late Night, right?
I don't recall what show it was.
If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 346, which is a portion of your appearance on this program. And we would ask that it be moved into evidence and ask for permission to publish it.
It contains, it has hearsay, it contains other communications with other individuals.
Your Honor, if we may approach very briefly.
Evidence.
There allegedly were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this, and then there was a divorce.
I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote. Right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the
Ms. Hurd,
settlement, $7
that's
million
not my
to
question.
charity, and I
Ms. Hurd,
intend to
Ms.
fulfill
Hurd,
those obligations.
Ms. Hurd, that's not my question. Please,
What was
try
your
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million, donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another. They're
But I
the same
don't.
thing.
Ms. Hurd, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Hurd, respectfully, that's not my question. As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as of today, you have not donated, paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
And that's because you did want something, didn't you?
I didn't want anything, and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it, wasn't interested in it. I loved Johnny, that's why I was with him.
You wanted praise for donating the money, right?
That's incorrect.
You wanted good press.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
You wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
Wasn't my interest. My interest is in my name and clearing my name, and at the time I was being called a liar and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was not any doubt that I couldn't be labeled these things just because Johnny was a bigger star and had more publicity reach.
You wanted to remind everyone of your claims of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
No, I wanted to move on with my life.
You wanted to make those claims seem believable.
They are believable. They were
You wanted
believable.
them to be seen, you wanted to be seen, as a noble victim of domestic violence,
I
didn't
have
you?
never wanted to be seen as a victim. Nor have I
You-
ever called myself one.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
No. Ms. Hurd, my questions. Your counsel will have time to redirect you after. You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
I'm going to move to strike everything after yes.
All right.
There's nothing to strike here.
No. Ms. Hurt, this is really inappropriate.
I'll sustain the objection, and we'll just move forward.
Thank you.
Let's move forward. Next question.
Under oath, that statement wasn't true, was it, Ms. Hurd?
I'm sorry, I don't follow your question. Sorry.
You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote. That statement wasn't true.
It is true. I pledged the entirety to charity.
The statement...
When you say you buy a house, you don't pay
Ms.
for the
Hurd,
entire house
Ms. Hurd,
at one
respectfully,
time. You pay it
I'm
over
not asking,
time.
Ms. Hurd.
All right. Next question, please.
Thank you. That statement isn't true today, as you sit here today, is it?
It is true. I pledged the entirety.
But you didn't donate it.
Unfortunately,
you didn't donate it. It's a yes or no.
I haven't been able to to fulfill those
So that's a no,
obligations.
right, Ms. Hurd?
I made the pledge. I want to be very clear. I pledged the entirety. I haven't been able to fulfill those pledges because I've been sued.
You had all of the $7 million for 13 months before Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities you pledged it to. Is that correct, Ms.
I
Hurd?
disagree with your characterization of that.
Let's look at your sworn testimony from the UK. May I approach, Your Honor?
All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ms. Vasquez, do you want me to close the shades?
That would be
Okay.
wonderful.
There's this light coming across. And
So I appreciate that.
Has
It's
to be a little
probably
more
good light. Thank you, Your Honor.
all right.
This is your third witness statement that you submitted in the UK action, right, Ms. Heard?
Correct.
And this statement was made under oath, true?
That is true.
I'm directing your attention to the last page of that statement. That's your signature, right?
Yes, it is.
So you made this sworn statement on February 26, 2020.
That's correct.
And directing your attention to paragraph 4. It says, quote, I remained financially independent from him the whole time we were together, and the entire amount of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
The him you were referring to is Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
Most of the money that was donated to the ACLU and CHLA in your name came from someone else. Isn't that right?
I don't know what you mean by most of.
Well, at least $500,000 that was donated to the ACLU in your name wasn't paid by you, right?
I believe Elon made a donation in my honor on one of the years.
Yeah, and it didn't come out of your $7 million divorce settlement, right?
No, nor did it count towards my pledge.
And at least $500,000 that was donated to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles in your name wasn't paid by you either.
Right, those were made at the same time.
And it didn't come out of your $7 million divorce settlement.
Nor did it count to my 3.5 obligation.
Those $500,000 payments came from your new boyfriend, Elon Musk, right?
I don't know if he was a new boyfriend at the time.
You got him to pay part of what you promised to these two charities, didn't you?
Incorrect.
Because you wanted to keep at least some of the $7 million divorce settlement for yourself, right?
You're very wrong about that.
I think this, if Your Honor is
Okay,
fine,
you said
this is a good
it's
stopping
breaking point. Okay, that's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stop here for the evening. Remember tonight, do not do any outside research and do not discuss the case with anybody. I know these days are a little longer, and I appreciate your patience and your taking care of everything here. Please take care of yourself tonight, okay?
All right, so we have finished the Heard deposition. That was not the Heard trial scene. Okay, so those are going. Good night to all of you. And I want to thank you all for coming here and hanging out with me. We had a good stream. And see you all in the next one, and peace.